Continuing coverage here at Origins 2019 Columbus, Ohio. Welcome to the Rolling Doubles podcast. My name is Ryan, and today we are here at the Pandasaurus Games booth with Hunter. Hunter, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You guys have an absolute huge booth here at Origins. You're taking up like probably half of the expo hall space, but for good reason because you guys have some monster hits coming out today. So, Hunter, what would you like to be able to say about the games you're releasing at Origins today?
So yeah, our two big releases here are Deadmans Cabal and Arraial. We got Deadmans Cabal in front of us for those sitting at home, but it's a action selection Euro game, kind of in the same weight class as something like Dinosaur Island.
Okay.
So it takes about an hour to play. In the game, you're playing as necromancers who are throwing a party, but no one wants to come to your party because you don't have any friends. So you're having to raise some friends from the dead to attend your party.
Nice.
They're all represented by these ritual cards. They have some really awesome art on them that represent like 80s characters, like retro characters, Victorian characters. It spreads the gamut because it's dead people. You can put whatever you want on them.
Right.
The goal is you're trying to create a pattern on this little pentagram sanctum board.
Yep.
That matches the skull pattern on the card.
Cool.
They just have to be able to trace a line between them. There's a lot of ways you get there. The main thing is on your turn, at the beginning of the game, you start with one skull of every color.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 different colors in the game that correspond with 4 different rooms. There are different action spots.
Okay.
At the beginning of the game, you'll draw a skull from the bag and put it on the ossuary track, which is a little 3-road selection thing.
Yep.
And you'll slide them all down, and whatever skull pops off the end, you get to keep that one.
Okay.
Once you've done that, you get to discard one of the 4 skull types from your hand and do that action. So in this case, you can do a red skull, which will get you additional skulls. It gets the action to buy more skulls.
Okay.
The white skull gets you these runes, which go on the ritual cards later. They'll let you essentially get end-of-game scoring options.
Okay.
They're like a bonus, pretty much.
Sure.
The gold skull lets you get more ritual cards if you run out, or if there's something on the tableau there that you think will be easier to score.
Okay.
And the black skull is really important because that actually lets you place skulls onto the sanctum, and the sanctum is where you get to complete the ritual cards.
Ah, yes.
So in the case of like this one here, actually we're gonna steal one here. It takes 1 gold and 3 red.
Okay.
If I spent a skull to put a red out, I'm not there yet, but if I got another red there later in the game, I would be able to finish that off, score those points. If I have any of the runes on the bottom matching, that also lets me place cubes on the in-game victory spots.
Ah, okay.
So it lets you get some in-game points, but the main thing is scoring those points from those characters.
Sure.
It also clears off one of the skulls so someone else can't just copy what you just did.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just use what you've been using already. The cool thing, I think one of the neatest things about the game is that after you've taken your action, you'll look at that first board you started on.
The ossuary,
and
yep.
whatever the majority skull in the middle column is, that's a public action for everyone to take.
Oh, okay.
So every turn you're going to be taking action, and then you'll take a second action as well as everyone else. So there's really not a lot of downtime. In between turns, you're having to sit there and watch because you're about to get an action in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Also, too, one of the most stunning things about it is the simplistic nature and minimalism of the front cover. Who did the design? Because, quite frankly, all the different types of character cards, the illustration on the box cover, even all the outlook on the board looks awesome. Who did this great work for you guys?
So the artists of the board's a little bit different. There were artists, I don't remember the name off the top of my head, honestly, unfortunately. But the art on the cards and the front cover, like that black and white look that you see on all the arts and marketing for it, is Denise Medri. I think I'm saying it right. It's either Dennis or Denise. He's an Italian artist.
Okay.
He's awesome. We would just send stuff their way, and then like next day we'd have 8 art specs back. He'd have just characters out the wazoo. It's great.
That's amazing. That's really awesome. So the next game that is also a huge hit, it has a big presence here, is Arraial, correct?
Yes, Arraial.
Arraial.
It's close. You're close. I promise. It's a weird one. For those that don't know what it looks like and don't know what to search, it has no H's in it, but it is Arraial. It's weird.
Yeah.
The reason it's got a weird name. It's a Portuguese game.
Okay.
By Portuguese designers about a Portuguese street party named Arraial. So it's a big festival they do every year, and you're trying to replicate that by creating a party out of blocks.
Okay.
It works like almost like a puzzle game. You have your own personal board in front of you, and then there's a central board that houses cards that can actually spin around.
Oh, sure.
And the central board, however the cards are oriented at you, is how those blocks will drop on you. They look kind of like Tetris blocks.
Oh, okay, sure.
So if you have a T-piece aiming towards you with a flat end towards you, it'll drop like that. But to your opponent, maybe across the board, it'll be dropping a different way.
Sure.
So you have the actions are very simple. It's either dropping a piece or spinning the tile, and you get 3 actions in turn. So you get like spin the thing in the middle to change the orientation, drop 2 pieces. You could drop a piece, spin it twice.
Yeah.
However you want to do it. The only limitation is you have to drop at least 1 piece a turn.
Sure.
You just try to match colors. When you match colors, you invite people of whatever color, like red, yellow, blue, whatever it is, to your party. And if you have the biggest area of that color, you'll invite the double meeple, which is my favorite component. It's like 2 meeples holding hands dancing. To your party. It's like a little bit of an area control in that regard. And then you've got line completion. So if you complete an entire row, there's a bonus bar at the top that'll bump up a mark, and you'll get a bonus little white meeple. And if the bar stays alive, if you don't reach it, if you don't like cap out your puzzle, it'll join your party.
Oh, sure. Nice. That's
so it's a really quick little game. The design team is the same guys behind Nippon and Madeira, so they do heavier Euros generally. This is definitely a lighter game for them. It takes like 45 minutes to play.
Awesome. Very cool. One last thing I want to be able to talk about. I know you're not doing too much here, but you guys have acquired the Machi Koro license.
Actually, we've always owned the Machi Koro license.
Oh, you've always owned it. Oh, that's really cool. So Machi Koro just had, I think it's 5th or 10th anniversary?
5th anniversary.
5th anniversary. So you guys released some anniversary, some products for that. That's just notching up the quality of the components. And I don't know if you can talk about it too much, but I'm really excited for Machi Koro Legacy.
Yes. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but we did get a production copy and it's looking really nice.
Excellent.
Machi Koro Legacy is going to be a really accessible Legacy game. Run $50, so a little bit cheaper than a lot of the other Legacy games.
Oh, sure.
It has the same Machi Koro dynamic and feel. If you've played Machi Koro, you're going to get the core mechanics pretty easily. However, there's some twists, like you're going to be able to keep permanent things in your town. There's going to be some new ways to interact with the game that aren't in Machi Koro. Machi Koro Legacy is a good opening for us to make some changes to the core gameplay that people may have asked for or interested in trying, or just things that we thought would be cool, but in a way that doesn't impact the core, like our main line. So if you're interested in Machi Koro and you want to see some weird stuff, that's the one to check out for sure.
When can we expect to see Machi Koro Legacy out in the wild at some point in time?
So it'll be at Gen Con. It's releasing at Gen Con, and then it'll be in stores shortly thereafter. So about a couple weeks after, probably.
That's awesome. So I also want to say before we go off the air, not congratulations, but good luck. I think the Mind is up for Origins Award.
Yeah, we're up for best card game this year. So we're fingers crossed. We're gonna go to that right after this, actually.
Yeah. It's gonna be coming up here. So you have the Mind. And then there's a couple other other small box games as well too that you guys are looking at wanting to.
Well, we got the game, which is pretty classic. It's another cooperative game with limited communication, not as limited as the Mind, but it's more about it's still trying to get 1 to 100, but everyone's trying to do it. And you're going through all the cards to do it. Yeah. Really creative design. An Illusion, which is another Wolfgang Warsch card game, so he's on fire. That came out really shortly after the Mind, and picked up steam over the holidays. We finally got our reprint coming in now. We just had 50 here at the show, and they already sold out.
Wow.
It's essentially you have cards with colors on them, 4 different colors, and they're usually in weird shapes and stuff. Hard to read the cards potentially. There's red, yellow, blue, and green.
Yeah.
And every round you're going to be looking at one color. Like an arrow card will come up with one of the 4 colors, so you're only focusing on like green.
Okay.
And players play cards from the top of the deck and have to determine. They'll play the first card and then have to determine does the next card up have more or less green on it.
Yeah.
And it sounds easy, but it's way harder than it sounds.
Sure.
Especially once there's more cards out in the line. You have to kind of figure out where it fits in the line. Or you just have to call that you have to challenge you think there's a mistake, and that's how you can score it. It's competitive, not cooperative like
Yeah. It's crazy to be able to just take wild guesses and see how close you come, which is really fun.
Yeah.
So you guys are on social media.
Yes.
Where can anyone that wants to learn more about Deadmans Cabal, about Pandasaurus, where can they find you?
It's at Pandasaurus Games on Twitter and Facebook, and at Pandasaurus_game on Instagram. And PandasaurusGames.com. We actually are doing a big website revamp, so it'll look a lot different, a lot better pre-order stuff on there, so you'll be able to check it out. That should be pretty soon.
Excellent. Well, Hunter, thank you so very much for joining me today. It was an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.